Okay, we're live on Zoom. Let's see what we got going on the YouTubes. There we go. Yep. I can still say good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. If you are seeing this on Sassy Seer Sheila, it is a recording. And I am going to continue the last one that I was doing. So, just to recap, for those that may not have been here on Monday, May the 5th, I knew that I was going to be taking my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush, to an endoscopy appointment. And I was in the middle of the live and I saw her message pop up that they had a cancellation and wanted to take her early. Could we do that? And I felt that we should do that. And so I wrapped it up and let you guys know that I would finish this when I came back because, I thought I would be right back. That did not happen. And something occurred apparently. And so we needed to put her back in the hospital. And it's just been a very interesting course of events. And I had the feeling then, and I said it in that live, because when I saw that, I don't normally see my private messenger pop-ups when I'm doing a live. And I happened to see that one. And I felt called to leave that reading exactly as it was and complete it when we returned. Because honestly, I think we'll go back and check on that live, but I'm pretty sure that I said that there was going to be something in that live that would be important, something in this reading that would be important, that pertained to what was happening and to the why we stopped the live in the middle the way we did. Or I keep saying we, I was the only one, but you get my meaning. Okay, so what I did see before we left, because I had already had the cards laid out, I had already, for anyone who was here while that live was going on Monday, or if you saw it after the fact, then you know that I remarked how we got the number 2 of the Hero's Journey deck, The Quest, Plunge Boldly into Life. We also got number 22 from the Fairies Oracle, The Master Maker, right? Also, the card Acceptance, which was card number 55. Well, Monday was May 5th, 5-5. And fives are all about change. The surrender card was surrender your need to always be right. Now, this is something that historically I have had a lot of trouble with, admittedly, let's just say. And one of the things that my dear friend has been able to help me see very gently that, I can be right for me, and whatever is right for me may not be right for someone else. And I have to tell you, that was a difficult thing for me because I just knew, well, if it's good for me, it's good for you, you know, and it's the right way, right? No, I trust me when I say that. So I had felt then, and I do now, to start with this card though, the Divine Animal Oracle Meerkat, right? And the key word on this card is responsibility. And the truth of the matter is, for me, I feel with all of me that we are, and the astrology and everything else seems to be pointing in this direction, that we are moving into sovereignty. Those who are moving towards soul growth expansion, the theme is sovereignty. And there's really choices to be made. Do we want to continue to hand our power over to other things, the nanny state, those whom we think are authority, those whom we mistakenly most often think know better than we do? And the only way to truly move into sovereignty, in my view, is responsibility. I have to take full 100% responsibility for all of me, all of my actions, all of my words, the way I feel, everything. And so it's not lost on me that this card came out. So without further ado, we're going to pick this up and see exactly. There's so much to share about what has transpired this week, and hopefully, Lisa will be feeling up to a conscious conversation very soon. Even though this hospitalization came out of the blue, none of us were expecting it. Coming out of the hospital this time, I personally feel, and not without putting words in her mouth, that she is in a whole different spot, both emotionally, energetically, and even physically. And so, even though some serious things went down, it's a whole different ball game. So, and part of that, thank you, Mark, for letting me know that. I appreciate that. Well, I remembered to pull the mic over. Helps when you do that, let me just say. I was speaking with my sister this morning on Zoom, and she said, I can't hear you. And I realized that I didn't pull the mic over. So thank you for that. So without further ado, the meerkat and the key word responsibility. Do you take responsibility seriously, or is it easier to blame others or outside influences? There should be a balance between responsibility for others and yourself. Someone may not be honoring their word. Developing altruism is important. Teaching others the skill you have mastered is a highly honorable act. Personally, I feel for me, I don't need to teach anybody anything. If I'm working on me, I will emanate everything that I am learning. I don't have to teach it. It can be felt. Oh, Lisa is watching, and she said, I'm looking forward to sharing my story in a conscious conversation with me. And I know she is. We've talked about that. So we're just, as soon as she's ready, we'll be doing that. So keep a lookout for that, because trust me when I tell you, there is so much to share. So many really cool observations about each one of us and the earth as a whole, in my view. So the mythos. The Bantu tribe of Africa tell how the meerkats were responsible for assigning color to the animals around them. Meerkats had the power to give color and camouflage to all creatures that wanted it. But to get a coat of color, the animal had to kill a buck eland, I don't know what that is, and bring it whole to the meerkat community. The hyena thought he would love a coat of color and killed a buck. As he was dragging it to the meerkats, he was overcome by the delicious smell of the meat and couldn't resist eating all but the bones. The hyena gave the meerkats the bones and expected to receive his new coat. The meerkats painted his body, but in ugly shapes and colors, punishing the hyena for his disrespect. The chief meerkat told him, "If anyone does not keep his word with me, I will do the same for him." The leopard was also wanted a colored coat and went out to kill an eland. I guess an eland must be a different kind of thing. No, because it says right here that the buck was a fine one, and the leopard brought it to the meerkats unskinned and untouched. "Lay down," said the chief meerkat, and he and the other meerkats painted the leopard beautifully. "He who keeps his word with me, I will do the same for him." The animal. There are very few people who aren't enraptured by the cuteness of a community of meerkats and their antics, for they are one of the most entertaining animals to observe. Meerkats belong to the mongoose family, and various species are found in the desert areas of Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, and Angola. They have binocular or front-facing vision, which is extremely beneficial, and they have highly mobile hands with claws for digging for prey and burrows. They have a striped coat on the backside and a unique section of hairlessness on their undersides that reveals their black skin. They stand up on their hind muscular legs to expose this patch to the sun to warm them when it becomes cold. Meerkats live in highly social colonies in which they demonstrate altruistic behaviors such as minding each other's babies, teaching young meerkats hunting and survival skills, and of course, the very famous upright sentry behavior of a meerkat acting as a guard or a watcher to warn others of danger. Now, while I was reading that just now, I was reminded of my words about I don't have to teach anyone anything. And yet, I also know that I share insights about things that ends up being sort of a teaching. Because I had a conversation with Jasmine just the other night, and she said to me that I had given her some pretty important insights that she takes with her everywhere she goes, which really was an honor for her to share that with me. And I was just flashed that whole conversation that we had just now as I was reading this about how they are very social and teach each other things. So I guess that is so. But like when I go out, I just know that working on these things for myself emanates no matter what. So that's very interesting. I was reminded of that. So the sentry often finds the highest position to oversee their environment, such as rocks or termite mounds, but this can also include humans. There are meerkat communities that have habituated to people and who do climb humans occasionally for a better vantage point. That's funny. The magic. Meerkat magic is all about altruism and responsibility. Such small but fierce creatures watch out for each other and work as a community to educate and protect. Call upon the energy and magic of meerkats. Well, and now I'm being shown exactly how all of this went down with Lisa over the course of this one particular hospitalization, and how the community really pulled together and each of our strengths just naturally came to the front. That's very interesting. The meerkat is all about altruism and responsibility. I already read that. Sorry. Call upon the energy and magic of meerkats when you need help with yourself or someone else to hold their word or to fulfill their responsibilities. Mark said, I'd share, but the space aliens have cosmic butterfly nets. Oh, you're funny, Mark. Meerkat energy is also valuable in facilitating teams in difficult conditions. Well, that is true in regards to holding folks to their word or to fulfill their responsibilities. Because of, I guess, the way I look at things, I really hold to the 4 agreements. Be true to your word. And I do tend to hold folks to their word and not allow things to get slid under the rug. You know what I mean? So there's that. Very interesting. The symbology for this is standing on top of rocks, altruism, and teaching. And the status is of least concern. So, wow, I can see why I wanted to come back and finish this reading, because obviously there was a lot in what happened that I didn't want to not finish this reading, because wow. I don't know, normally I would have said, okay, that's it. We'll just, wrap this one up, especially when it had been all those days, right? So I'm feeling the Journey of Love card to come next. And that's the card number 55, Acceptance. And I'll just say right now that part of why I feel like this, what I said in regards to where Lisa is at the present, is there was a shift in her in regards to being in resistance to what was happening. And I feel like this card, Acceptance, will tell us more about that. And so that is why I asked her to take a listen this morning, because I had a feeling that there's something here for her as well. So this card, you have offered yourself, asked to be of service to the greater good. Oh my gosh, I may cry, Lisa. Created something that you want to contribute towards a healing of our world. I knew it. And your offer has been gratefully accepted by the divine. Know this and be at peace. Wow. Because I know that's exactly what you said to me. What was that? Tuesday night, I think it was, whichever night I stayed up there, Wednesday night. This oracle brings you a message. You are completely received, accepted by the divine just as you are. There is nothing to change, just you to be. You have made an offering of a prayer, a sacrifice of an attachment, and a giving of a desire to be of service, to make a contribution to the world. And your offer is joyfully being transformed into the seeds of how this can best be. Your next step is about to begin. Holy crap. Shall we find some sunshine amongst the cloudy days? A gentle touch that softly warms and leads us on our way. Past stately oaks and candles glow, and places we have never been, a friend to share the memories before it's home again. Wow, honey, I cannot hardly wait for our conversation now, especially after this. You know, when things like this happen, it's like a confirmation for me of what I have been told internally and feel inside. It's just, I don't know, it's just so lovely. Now I know that I read the hero's journey card in that other live, but I'm going to read it again because this did I? Oh, maybe I didn't. I don't know. No, yes, I did. I did read this, but the card was number 2, right? And not only did we have these 3 twos here, something else was delivered to me that I was looking at earlier in the morning, and the number 222 was involved with that. Then these 2 cards came out, 2 and then 22. That's 2. That's 3 twos. And then we get to the emergency room after, because when they wheeled her out of the endoscopy, the doctor said, I want you to take her straight to the emergency room. I'm calling the members of my team. She needs to be evaluated and possibly a blood transfusion. And all of that happened. And when I got her into the emergency room, the little girl behind the counter had a tattoo right here on her arm, and it had 3 twos on it. Don't ask me exactly what all this means because I couldn't tell you. But I cannot unsee the synchronicities behind all of that because I had just left here and I had just left all of this on the table thinking I was going to come straight back to it and didn't. So, and the fact that this is the quest. Plunge boldly into the thick of life and seize it where you will. It is always interesting. That's a quote by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. The message with this card. Your perception is most accurate when it's inside out. You've crossed the threshold from the ordinary world into the special world. It is here. The rules of the ego and polite society no longer apply. Yeah, I'll say. In the ordinary world, it was acceptable to run from the things that scared you. In the special world, you walk toward things, those things with open arms. In the ordinary world, it was acceptable to associate falling with failing. In the special world, it is an invitation to explore your depth. In the ordinary world, it was customary to pretend you don't have a shadow. In the special world, your shadow is where your greatest gifts arise, and that is so true. In the ordinary world, when something was bizarre, you disregarded it as irrelevant. In the special world, strangeness is an indicator of value and importance. I just got talking about all those numbers, and yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's just coincidence." Oh, okay. Whatever you say. In the ordinary world, it was acceptable to blame other people for your difficulties. Well, we just had that card about responsibility saying the exact same thing. But in the special world, you take full responsibility for your experience. Wow. There's a dream symbol associated with this card, falling. Dreams of falling are a message to drop into your depth and flip your perspective of what it means to be grounded. Falling can also signify you have tripped up because your feet weren't firmly planted on the earth. I've got a story about actually falling that came for me one day. I'll tell you about after I finish reading this. You may be amid a growth spurt, experiencing change, and thus feeling in over your head, or maybe even head over heels in love. Imagine there are falling angels helping you learn how to fall gracefully into your deeper, more soulful nature. There's a mantra associated with this card of I become more lucid when I choose to see the world from an inside out perspective. I do feel like that's a true statement because I personally feel more present in this body, more attentive to my surroundings and every single thing that's going on than I have ever felt in my life. More clear, more clarity, and totally at peace in my skin. The story I was going to share. This has been several years ago when I was learning some lessons. I took a little spill in the backyard, landed flat on my stomach, face in the dirt. And I asked my, okay, so what's that about? Right. And, again, in the ordinary world, I wasn't paying attention. In the special world, I knew I was not in my lane. And I knew it immediately when that happened, because as I was walking along, I was thinking how this person over here was experiencing something because da 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 da. I was in a judgment. I was also not, I hadn't surrendered my need to always be right about a thing. And I paid the price by taking a flat on my stomach, but I saw it immediately. That's the beauty of that. I saw it immediately, and I certainly, I don't know, it was like a turning point for me almost, and realizing rather than blaming the roots on the ground, or my shoe for catching up on something, or, that's also right here in this. So, wow, man. Okay, so the next card is the Master Maker, card number 22. As I said, I can't this whole thing, man, has been so interesting. The Master Maker, the key words for this card are skill, craftsmanship, magician, moral strength, invention. The master maker is the master of the forge upon which we create our futures and forge our own souls. He sees the world beyond the other world, the world of first causes. Through his magic, he brings them into his own world of fairy. From his world, these concepts trickle down into our own through dreams and visions picked up by artists and craftsmen everywhere. He makes the first, the original. He is the great inventor, and the sign above his door reads, "Practical problems solved here." He sings as he works, and as in all fairy magic, his song does so much. His song does as much to shape objects as do the blows of his hammer. Yeah, that's all about vibration right there. Frequency, vibration. Um, That's what I just got. Healing cups, magic swords, fairy jewels, crowns of stars, and other bespelled works of the finest craftsmanship pass through his forge and beneath his hammer. The master of fire, air, earth, and water. And there's another little thing. The parking deck for the hospital is labeled by the elements, which is very interesting. We have a water level, we have an air level, we have an earth level, and we have the sun deck. It's very interesting to me that that would be like that. The master of fire, air, earth, and water, he adds the fairy element of moonlight to everything he creates. He would be the first to tell you that superb craftsmanship, however magical, is hard work, joyful and energizing hard work, but always challenging. As the master maker reminds us, no job is too small to do beautifully. His work is done as well as possible, even where it will never be seen by anyone else. Bringing ideas into excellently crafted reality can only be done when we, like the master maker, are willing to plan meticulously, begin carefully, and persevere through difficulties, learning still more of our craft as we work. Crafts Well, that message right there specifically is about the forging of self for me, is what I just got about that. For me specifically, craftsmanship is also a labor of love. We must be willing to tackle difficult challenges and have a determination to surpass previous achievements. Patience is always required, as is the willingness to do a thing again and again until it is even better than the best one can do. The master maker has the moral strength to refuse the temptation to do anything less. And he is a protector and teacher of the traditional values of his craft. Yet, in balance to all this, the Master reminds us that we also need to learn our own limits. Not everyone can do everything superbly. When we discover our talents and choose our craft, then we gain great joy and fulfillment from developing that skill into an art. We grow more like the master maker each time we do the best we can and then stretch ourselves to do a little more, a little better than that. Do whatever you do as well as you can, and then make it even better. The Master Maker reminds us that our very best work is always desirable, and in the present situation, it is necessary for success. Well, I definitely take that personally, because one of the best skill I have is my paying very close attention to what is happening and making sure that everybody stays true to their word. And that really, when you hear the story of how, in particular, this last one went down and the role that I played along with all the others, you that clearly I can see that because of how that all went down there. In fact, he asks that we surpass our previous best. Don't cut corners and don't take the easy way. Whether making a thing or fulfilling a concept, be sure the design is elegant, pure, and functional, and then follow it, attending to every detail in its turn. He says, design beyond your skill and then raise the level of your skill to fulfill it. Well, that to me says everything, right? Give and accept only the best and do it with love of your craft, whatever that craft may be. This card speaks of long lasting achievement, creative problem solving, and confident action. It may suggest cooperation with others, especially from a position of responsibility. Well, that sure has been echoed throughout all these cards, hasn't it? Or of teaching one's craft to others. Success comes from practical application of traditional principles in life and in work. Wow. Now, I decided, since that reading was from the other day, and because I never got to pull from the alchemy deck, that we would finish that reading that had to do with the hospital stay, what is now turned into a hospital stay. And then I was going to pull one card from the alchemy deck and one card from the Rumi deck for today, so that we would have the energy of today. And let's just see, because we have plenty of time, and why not? I definitely want to know what's going on for today. Book club isn't for another 35 minutes yet, so we have time to do that. And we are going to. I hope everyone is doing well out there. And you know what? If the energy holds, well, I don't know. I may not be able to do that. I want to get into, I had to cancel a couple of things this week with folks whom I was meeting with. And so I would like to see if any of those folks are available first before I say I might come back and do a hangout session. But maybe I can get a hangout session in this weekend, which I would really love to do. So as per always, just keep a lookout and see if, oh my goodness, the Hand of Fatima came out, card number 43, which is a 7. So, as always, in order to be notified, make sure you're subscribed and that you've had the notification bell. I will be doing, did I say? I have to check which, not sure which place I did the last Intuitive Live at, because I want to make sure I give love to Sassy Seer Sheila as well. But I'm kind of feeling we'll do it over here on this channel, New Light Streaming Love, because I think I might have done it on Sassy Seer Sheila last time. Okay, so the Hand of Fatima from the Rumi deck. I can never leave you. I want to say before I start this that to me, I always see, I know this is a wave, but I always see a bald eagle as well. So for me, this also speaks to sovereignty, freedom as well. Oh, Mark said, I still think that Lisa's problems have dietary roots. Well, you may not be wrong, in at least in part. There's a lot involved in all of this that has to do with that one card of her asking to be of service as well. So I hope you'll tune into that conversation, Mark, as well, because I don't think you've had the pleasure yet of meeting Lisa. And so I'm not sure if we'll do that live or as a recording, but definitely tune in for that. So I can never leave you, not for a moment, not for an hour. You are in everything I do. You are my everything. My drink is your sweetness. I move to your command. I am a surrendered prey in your hands, and you are my consuming lion. Your soul and my soul are truly one soul. I swear to our one soul, I long for no one but you. In the garden of your grace, I am only a germinating sprout. The crown of my blooming is the desire to be in your arms, Rumi. My hand watches over you. It brings you blessings and comfort, protection and grace. Radiant with divinity am I, and you are my child, my beloved, my angel, and my body too. I shall never leave you. Turn your inner eye to me and see the light of my grace in your heart. You cannot be harmed. You cannot be defiled. You can only ever be what you are, me, alive, radiant with love. Ow. You are giving birth to more spirit than you have ever held before. Oh, I feel the truth of that statement like I can't even right now. During such times, a divine midwife can be helpful and supportive. This is Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, who reaches from the skies, who reaches up from within your body, from deep within the earth, and brings you the gift of protection, grace, and love. You are safe. You are held, and you are bound within her warmth. She has received your prayers, and she honors your devotion to life, to love, and to growth. She will help you. Ask for her blessing daily. You can use the simple sacred honoring ritual to do so if you need guidance on how to pray to her. But any words from your heart spoken in authenticity will suffice no matter how simple or ornate they may be. I want to stop right here and say that if you feel that you would like to know what the sacred honoring ritual says, reach out to me and I will send you a picture of the words. I generally do not read it, mostly because personally, I feel just that. Your own words is your authenticity and it comes from your soul. And I always feel like that's the best way to go, not somebody else's ritual. But if you want to know what it says, if you feel the desire to know what it says, I'm happy to give that to you. Just reach out and let me know. And if we're not friends on Facebook and you can't get it in a private message to me, send me an email, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com, and I will get it to you. She responds to the feeling behind the words, and she responds instantly, beyond time and space. In fact, she has responded even now, perhaps before you even knew she was needed. This oracle, well, there's a lot of that going on in the world right now. People feeling each other and stepping up before they're even actually called or know that there was something there. This oracle brings you the guidance that what is being born in your life right now, in your own consciousness as a seed, perhaps of a new way of being, a new idea, a belief system, philosophy, or sense of self, is going to come to maturity under the loving protection of the Divine Mother. You are also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts. Have some discernment about who you involve yourself with and how you choose to use your time and energy. Allow yourself to feel Fatima's guidance and comfort in you by giving yourself permission to be nurtured through your own choices and the people or situations you say yes or no to in your life. This is a way to honor her presence and allow her to help you, which she wishes to do in all ways possible. Love is all things you see, dearest angel. And that means saying no can mean saying yes to something greater. So give yourself permission to say your no and yes as dictated by your heart, no matter how much you love something or someone. If the answer feels as a no, then it's gotta be a no. And if that being cannot accept it, that's for them to work out. That's the way I look at it moving forward in my life for certain. This oracle also brings you the message that your body is sacred and worth your attention. You do not have to become obsessed. You do not have to push or judge your body, but you can honor him or her as a sacred animal through which your spirit creates soul and expresses itself in the world. This is a truly wonderful and amazing gift, extraordinary and yet fraught with challenge. The spirit can be powerful. Sometimes it can be hesitant too, even to really, enough to really engage with the body and come to life. There is a story that the angels sang music to lure the spirit into the body, but used to its freedom, it was reluctant to experience itself in what looked like rather confining matter. The spirit did not know that Fatima would be initiating the spirit into her mysteries through the body. She was going to be sharing the sensuality of life, the sacredness of love, the deep mystery of life, death, and rebirth, and the wonders of nature. She was going to show the divine that she was going to show the divine could live not only in light but also in flesh. Fatima holds the wildness of divine feminine wisdom and the sanctity of life. She has great gifts of ecstatic presence, only able to be experienced through the spirit living in the body. She will share this if you allow her to guide you. Once the spirit recognizes this, even just gets a whiff of Fatima's glorious fragrance, the enthusiasm for life ignites, and the wonders of the world experienced through the body become a way to revere the great beloved and turn all of life into the temple of love. I really feel like that's true anymore. Since I've changed, because it's a matter of perspective, especially if one has been in a lot of pain for many, many, many years. And there was a lot of years that I was in such resistance because who wants to be in pain? And however, I've really changed the way I look at all of that, including pain. This oracle also comes with guidance. Giving your body rest and healing is most beneficial at this time. There are symptoms you are experiencing, anything from fuzzy headedness to tiredness, and aches and pains, as well as shifts in body temperature that seem unbalanced. And these are directly related, if not solely, to the interaction of your spiritual essence with your sacred animal body. These will even out under Fatima's grace and protection, like two housemates learning to live together and enhance each other, rather than distract and annoy each other with their quirks and differences. This settling in process will happen all the more easily when you ask for Fatima's help. This oracle also advises that if you ask for help and protection in any matter, it will be granted. There is no exception to this rule. There is nothing you have done that has made you unworthy of divine intervention, grace, and love. Not one thing ever. Ask, trust, and receive. Wow. I really feel like even though that's for today, that's like putting the seal of the approval of the whole thing. Oh, Lisa said, Mark, that's a big part of this puzzle for sure. You certainly felt that piece. That's true. It really is. Okay, so the final card will come from the Alchemy Elemental. Is that what it called? Yeah, Alchemy Elementals deck. I was made aware last night that the Earth has been now bombarded again with rays from the sun. The electromagnetic field has taken quite some interesting looking stuff. And so, you know, a lot of times, because I was keeping a pain journal back many years ago and happened to notice that my body can be in a lot of pain when that kind of thing happens. And I also noticed this time around, I don't know if it was because of everything that was going on with Lisa and the fact that I was very front and center with all of that. There wasn't a whole lot of pain for me. There was some, yes, Absolutely. But it's almost as though it was peripheral. I don't know if that makes any sense. It certainly wasn't something that I felt so strongly that I couldn't cope. I don't know if that makes any sense. But there's a lot of, oh, wow, the wisdom card came out. That's very interesting. Card number 83, which is an 11 numerologically. Wow. Okay. Wisdom. Let's see what that has to say. The wisdom card asks us to move beyond the linear thread of logical thinking handed down to us by our parents, our schools, our media, and our society. It speaks to an infinite expanse of knowledge that exists beyond our indoctrination, a holistic intelligence that incorporates intuition, emotion, empathy, experience, and spiritual understanding. Wisdom is about being able to sense beyond the surface of what is being presented or offered, to perceive information multidimensionally. Personally, I'm getting pretty good at that, I feel. And I feel like a lot of other folks on this planet are too. And even those who aren't are beginning to question some things. And I I just point stuff out when I'm out and about and I see stuff. I'm like, wow, you felt that coming, didn't you? Or whatever, it's just, and it's really cool to watch folks' reaction. When this card appears, you know the spirits are talking about your journey along this path and are inviting you to gather and cultivate tools that will allow you to sense information from a more expanded perspective. Such tools will help you know where and how to insert this information back into society and into the minds of others at just the right time. I could swear that's just what I said. So that they too can tap into the magic of wisdom themselves. Yeah, oh, that's rich. That's very interesting. I have long said, you see, the whole point of these readings for me from the very beginning, I have said that these cards are not necessarily tools of divination, right? They are tools of focus and attention for me. They have served to help me focus my attention in such a way so that I could hear my inner voice speaking to me. Now, that happens for everyone in varying different ways. And when you're not used to hearing your inner voice or heeding your inner voice, there are all manner of tools to use. Meditation. And meditation can take many different forms as well. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed today. I hope you found something here for you. I know there was a lot here for me. I also hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It is just a matter of your perspective. And if you're not feeling very joyous when a situation presents in the moment, maybe give yourself a few moments. Back up, see if you can look at it from a different angle, a different perspective, and see if there's another way to see it, to feel it, to experience it, to put it into some sort semblance of, is this actually this way? Because chances are, if you're not experiencing joy, it could be the perspective that it's being looked at, right? And so until we meet again, be well, my friends. Mwah. Till next time.